it down, speak louder. That was my name. Stack. Eagerly leaving the scene to go and chase his dream. On a mission, wishing ever since he was only 15. With sincerity, I'll never give in to the popularity. The clarity's a rarity when you're compared to me. Now where were we? Where were we? And I don't mean to be cocky, but I'm never doing this sloppy. And all that hating, it's not me. So I'm original, no copy. Can't copy my swag. I'm spitting liquid, twisting like my name was Mickey Fast. And I'm the 11th freshman on the cover, double XL. Didn't get any recognition cause I forgot how to spell. Fixed it with the quick systems, now I gotta spit quick as hell. And now I'm doing it well. Ain't hard, but I bet you can tell. And I'm locking my method, I said.
All right, joining me today is Dexter Williams. If you're not familiar with him, he is a former Notre Dame graduate and a man who finds himself signing with a championship team 3 days, I think it was, before they head to the championship game in Canton, Ohio. How are you doing today, Dexter? Appreciate joining me, and let's get into this championship game.
I said, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
How excited are you to play in a championship game tomorrow?
I'm so excited. This is like an opportunity of the lifetime. Like when I got the call from Coach Brock and Coach Jags, it was just amazing. I was like, man, this is an opportunity that I feel like I should take. Especially I know it could help me, and I can also help the Stars as well. So it was an opportunity that I was definitely looking for. So I jumped right on the next flight, and now I'm here just working hard with the guys. It's a great group of guys. A very collective group, and we have people from everywhere. You have guys who played in the NFL. You have guys who are trying to make their way to the NFL. So it's like we all have the same goal. The coaches have the same goal, and it's just we're all on one page. So I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. I can only imagine. I mean, what better way to join a team than literally days before they go to the championship game?
Yeah, it was a moment like at first I thought it was kind of fake. I was like, man, I wonder if this is real because I've been watching the USFL this whole entire season, and now it's like now I'm actually in the game, so it kind of feels like so unreal.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you've been watching all season long. As you know, viewership and attendance have kind of been some talking points about the USFL, but I personally think the gameplay has been amazing. What's your opinion?
I think it's been very amazing. It's just a little different. I would say it's just different from the NFL because some of the rules are different, but at the same time, it's still football, and a lot of people love watching football. So I'm pretty sure, like as the years go on, if the season's still available, like what the USFL league, if it lasts, I'm pretty sure they'll actually do great.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm glad you said that. That's a perfectly candid opinion there. He just, we did not talk about what I was going to ask him prior to coming on. So that's his honest opinion, ladies and gentlemen. That's from a player himself in the league. So that's a good thing to hear from the players themselves because that encourages me in terms of attracting free agents to the league this next coming season.
Exactly.
Was this an opportunity that had been in the works earlier this season? It kind of sounds like not so much.
No, not so much. It wasn't in the works early this season because I was really just training and that mindset that I was going to be probably in OTAs or in mini camp or have a workout somewhere. So I just made sure I stayed ready and was just focusing on the things I could control. And once I got this opportunity, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take it because I haven't been playing football for a while. Well, my last game was December. It was with the Browns, and I didn't get a chance to play because of COVID. I ended up catching COVID on the flight, but I didn't have any symptoms or anything, so I wasn't able to play. I wasn't able to be around the team. So it kind of like made me upset because I felt like that was going to be my one opportunity to show a lot of people what I can do. But as the months went by, and then I got a chance to get this opportunity, I took it, and I'm like, I was full, I was ready. And I was just very excited to get around the guys, learn the playbook, learn the coaches. Even though it's a short amount of time, I don't really have that much bonding time. But with the time I have here and the time that I did put in working with these guys, I can see like this is a great group of guys, a great fit for me as well. And I love the offense. I love the coaches and how they're coaches. and I love the competition that the defense brings each and every day. So it's a very exciting team to be a part of.
Absolutely. Just out of curiosity, if you had to pick one defensive player, is there anybody who stood out to you from the offensive perspective so far?
For the defense,
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
you have a lot of guys that stand out. I don't know their names exactly because I'm still learning a lot of the guys' names, and you meet so many people, you kind of get them confused. Some, but I know for sure, Jay Moon, he was a guy, the linebacker. He was a guy that stood out to me because he was like one of the leaders on the team, and I can see why he's a leader. Just the way he like takes really care of the defense, the way how he really just gets them to come together and really just play as one. So he was the guy that stood out to me as well. Then I'm familiar with Tavon Coney. He was the guy that I played with in at Notre Dame.
Okay.
So it was just like just getting around the guys and stuff. I'm still learning them as well, like I said before. But those are two guys that really stood out to me. And also, just like I said before, I knew Tavon, so I already knew his abilities. Just going against him each and every day, man, him made each other better each and every day at Notre Dame.
Absolutely. I knew that was going to be a hard question for your answer, given the fact
Yeah.
that you've only been there a couple days. But
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that your perspective on that. I haven't gotten the chance to ask anybody on the offensive side of the ball about their defense yet, so it was kind of cool. So I wanted to go a little bit further back into your career before we get into the professional world, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Before getting back into the star stuff, coming out of West Orange High School, you were ranked as a 4-star recruit. Kind of walk me through your recruitment process and what led you to Notre Dame.
So at first, it was like I didn't get any offers till my senior year, which was when I transferred to West Orange, and it was just a continuous grind because I knew I had the talent and the ability to just to play college ball, so I just had to continue to work. I had got my first offer from Miami, the University of Miami, and I committed right on the spot because I was like, I didn't know if I was going to get any more offers. I wasn't sure. Then I kind of wanted to stay home at the point in time. But as the year went on, I was just watching the University of Miami and like how their offense was, and it was kind of get like a little bit unstable. They were like when Al Golden them was coaching at the time. So I kind of was like, I wanted to leave home just to take on a bigger challenge. And once I got the Notre Dame offer, I took an official visit. I fell in love with the place because I feel like Notre Dame is like a place either it's a hit or miss for a lot of guys. Either you like it or you dislike it. And I was one of those guys that fell in love with it. So after that, Tony Alford, he was the coach at the time. He recruited me. He was recruiting me heavily, heavily. Then after signing day, he ended up leaving. But I was so in love with Notre Dame that I continued to stay. I didn't want to go anywhere else because at the end of the day, I committed to the school and the football program. I didn't commit to a coach. And I know how this business works. Coaches come and go, players come and go. So it was just like I just wanted to keep that commitment. So Notre Dame, like the real reason why I chose them was because like even though it was far from home and like a lot of players from Florida, they have a hard time leaving. So for me, I was like, okay, if I leave, I want to go somewhere where my parents can still watch me play, and they was able to watch me play because Notre Dame played on TV every week. No matter who they was playing, you could see Notre Dame on TV every week. And then it was just like that for 40 program. I couldn't turn that down as well because it was like I was thinking about life after football because I know football at any given day, this is a high impact sport. You can hang up the cleats at any given time. So I just wanted to make sure I go somewhere that was big with education because my mom, she was a teacher, and she really pushed education a lot in our household. She was always talking about get good grades, get education. I always do what you want to do so that way you can set yourself up and be able to have a great future. So that was another reason. Then I just fell in love with the guys, the coaches there, the program, the school. Then it was just like they had so many resources. It was just like unlimited resources. And really, people who went to Notre Dame and like that were there in the past, it was just like a big generation of people I can also call on. I can get in contact with, network with, and that was something I was learning throughout college was networking. So that was something that I felt like was going to be big because ND had such a big name, it's such a big brand. I felt like, okay, maybe I can actually do something with this brand and be able to use it to help me out as well. So that was like my main reason for choosing Notre Dame because a lot of people, and then also it was like one more thing, which was a lot of people were saying to me like, "Oh, you won't be able to last at Notre Dame. You won't make it at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a hard school. You're going so far from home. You'll be back." And me, I'm a guy that likes to take on challenges. So I want to prove everyone wrong that I can actually do. I can actually graduate from the University of Notre Dame, and I can actually accomplish a lot of things there. So I took on that challenge as well. That was like more of a personal side because I don't one thing I hate to be I hate receiving is like just being doubted. So one thing I always like feel like I gotta prove myself to someone. I just prove myself that I actually can do it. So that was another thing that helped me. Is the real reason why I chose Notre Dame.
Gotcha. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Notre Dame is it gained notoriety for many different reasons over the
Yeah.
years. But I mean, that's a great school to go to, and that's one of the main reasons it's always on the map.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So when you get to Notre Dame, I would say that you had a little bit of a realization that it wasn't like high school. There was some guys on the roster that were maybe ahead of you in terms of the depth chart. Is playing a running back by committee situation something you're comfortable with at the professional level as well?
Yeah, because you're gonna have guys that have been there, that have been in that system, and that also that have the experience. So me, I was a guy that I was always willing to learn. So being at Notre Dame, and it's ran like a actual NFL program. So that was another great thing. That was another reason why I chose Notre Dame. And just being there, it just really showed me how to practice, how I go along by the situation. Sometimes you have to sit and wait your turn, but also stay focused and also stay ready. So that was my main focus because we had guys like CJ Procise, we had guys like Tarian Folston, Josh Adams that were all ahead of me, and those were great backs now. So I was just like I had to sit and wait my turn. It was the same thing once I got to Green Bay. We had Aaron Jones, you had Jamal Williams, and it was a couple more running backs, and then there was me. So I just took whatever I can take and just learn from those guys, and then apply it to my game. And I felt like I can only get better.
Absolutely. A little bit of competition never hurt anybody,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit of competition never hurts because I feel like if you don't have competition, you can't grow. So that was one thing I was big. Like I wanted to be somewhere where it was competitive because I'm a very competitive person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you have to be in the professional sports world, let's say.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So talk to me about what you learned after your time behind Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones in Green Bay.
I would say one of the things that I really learned is just how to be a pro. Those guys were like legit pros. Like even though like they wasn't like in the league that long at the time, and they weren't considered veterans. They were still acting like they were veterans. Like each and every day after practice, they'll be taking care of their bodies in a cold tub, always having people work on them, making sure they are staying healthy, making sure they're available for the next game, and also the way they handle themselves in the running back meeting rooms. They will always answer them questions. If they didn't know something, they will always raise their hand. They will always ask questions. You'll be looking at these guys like, man, you're Aaron Jones, you're Jamal Williams. You'll feel like they know everything, but for them to still ask questions and still go over things with the coach, still have extra meetings, it's talking like, okay, it's always a consistent learning. You always have to consistently keep learning the game because the game changes over time, defenses changes during the game. So you always have to be willing to learn. You have to be able to use your eyes, be able to use your feet, and also just learn the system. Being there with Aaron Rodgers is just like it was a playbook within a playbook. So you had to be able to take everything, be detailed about a lot of things, and just really go out and play and have fun. So those were things that I took from those guys, and then I applied to myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can definitely see it in your game. The couple videos I did find of your Green Bay carries. So you definitely have some excitement to you, in my personal opinion.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. So speaking about that excitement, I kind of found kind of a crazy stat when I was doing my research on you. While you were in college still, your junior season, 17 of your 39 total carries went for a first down or a touchdown. I mean, that just kind of, to me, displays your explosiveness as a running back.
Yeah, I always prided myself on being explosive. Like I do a lot of explosive workouts, and I know me. I'm a home run hitter, so at any given time, I can score a touchdown. And also, just like being behind Josh Adams, I had to really take advantage of my carries because I never knew when I was going to be able to step in and see the field again. So, because he was a great back as well. So, it's just like every time I did step in the game, it's like, man, I was always fiending to get in the end zone. It's like, Dex, you got to get in the end zone. You got to get in the end zone. And I still had that mindset to this day because at the end of the day, whether you get 6 carries, 9 carries, 30 carries, always take advantage and always make the best of your carries.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think Philadelphia Stars fans are going to be excited to hear that you're always looking for the end zone. One of the big reasons that we're all a little worried going into this championship game is we lost our most consistent scoring threat in Matt Colburn. Have you had any interactions with Matt and Darnell Holland?
Yeah, I actually had a lot of interactions with Matt and Darnell. They're both great guys. I believe I played against Matt in college. So yeah, so I remember him from college, and so once we got here, he was helping me out with some of the plays as well. He wasn't really out at practice that much because of his injury, but today we were together. He was just going over just little things that he's seen. How can I do things a little better? So just like I said, like I learned from everyone, like whether like if they're a star pro, whatever it may be, and I know he was that guy here. So because and also I watched the USFL season this year and I see him doing his thing. So I'm like, man, this is a great back. I remember him from college. So once I got here, it was just like all love. He welcomed me in and he was like, man, just go out there and make sure you have fun and play football. So that was great of meeting those guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. So through your first 3 seasons in college, we kind of touched on it. You were in like a little bit of a running back by committee type situation. And then senior season finally hits, and you get the chance to be primarily the guy. Talk to me about how it felt to finally get that chance to start after 3 years of working towards it.
Oh, it felt great. It was just like a lot of weight left my shoulders, I should say. It was very uplifting because the guys knew they can count on me. Yeah, they knew they can count on me, and then they also wanted to see me play. They wanted to see like what could Dexter Williams do in a full game. So I always want to like compete with the other guys out there, the receivers, the quarterbacks, whoever it was. It was just like, okay, if I score a touchdown, I want you to score a touchdown. If they score a touchdown, I want to be able to score a touchdown. And just to have like just to keep the ball rolling and really put Notre Dame on the map. So that was something that we really pride ourselves in, was just trying to put Notre Dame on the map. And that's how we end up making it to the playoffs. Despite that losing to Clemson, it was just something that I felt like I wanted to be able to show people that okay, he can play a whole game of football. He's not just a back that comes in and just play like first and second down, or he's just not a back that just fulfill his role when the starting running back can't when the starting running back is not in. So I just want to show people that I can play a full game and also I can make plays during the whole game.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say you definitely nailed that goal with 158 carries and 16 receptions. You had a total of 1,128 yards and 13 touchdowns. So definitely not stats to sneeze at coming out of your senior season for sure. In 2019, you declare for the NFL draft, and you're ultimately drafted in the 6th round by the Green Bay Packers. We talked about it a minute ago. You were actually a Vikings fan growing up. Talk to me about how it felt that you got drafted and you were now in the NFL. You had kind of made it to that level.
It was like it felt unreal, I should say, because it was all like a dream. It was like, man, I was like once when I was a kid, I was like, man, I want to play in the NFL. I want to play in the NFL. So just to see this dream come true, it just felt so unreal. It was just like I broke down emotionally. Like me and my parents, we were crying and stuff, and we really we really were emotional about it. But then I was just like, okay, I'm going to take full advantage of this opportunity. So once I got to Green Bay, I just got up under the guys, like really the veterans, Jimmy Graham, Mercedes Lewis, Devontae Adams, and you can just keep going down that list. Aaron Jones, Jamal. Like I was just taking something from all those guys because I knew that was my way of staying in the league, just doing what the vets do and trying to apply it to myself and my everyday life.
Absolutely. So what was your time in Green Bay ultimately like? I mean, talk to me about what it was like working with Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Jimmy Graham on a daily basis.
It was full of excitement. Like these are people that I watch growing up. So to actually be sharing a locker room with them, it was like I was so excited. Like I was starstruck like the first week. Being I was like every day I was walking in, my locker was right across from Aaron Rodgers. It was just like, man, that's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers. And then to the left of me, like a couple lockers down, it was Jimmy Graham. And I'm like, man, that's Jimmy Graham. Like, this is so crazy. It's so unbelievable. But just to see how those guys carried their stuff at practice each and every day, it was just like everything, like they was always ready. They was always ready. It was so detailed. They always asked questions, and they was always, I would say, mm, it was like they was always intertwined with each other. So just seeing that each and every day, it helped me to get better. And just to see how the way they came out and practice each and every day, it showed me like why these guys are so successful in the NFL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not bad influences to have in your first year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So you finished out the 2021 season on the Cleveland Browns, like we talked about, who had COVID hit them rather hard. I mean, you got it. Coach Stefanski got it as well. There are many, many players across the roster. They were pretty decimated at one point. So talk to me about how that must have felt. I mean, like you said it earlier, that was your opportunity. There was a lot of injuries there at the running back room. You were probably going to get some carries. That must have been nothing short of devastating at the time.
Yeah, it was definitely devastating because I felt like this was my opportunity that I can come and play. And actually, like before that last game, I was with the Browns earlier that year, and I remember sitting in the exit meeting. They were saying that, okay, like if anything else happens, we're going to call you back. We're going to call you back. We really like how you work. We really like your effort, the way you come in and learn the playbook, the way you come in and just apply yourself on the field. So for them to call me back at the end of the year for the last game, I was so excited. Like my bags were packed and I was on the next flight as soon as possible. So once I found out, I took the COVID test and they told me that I had COVID. I was kind of upstate. I was like, man, I was upset because of the fact. I was just like, man, I might not get this opportunity again. I know it's just the opportunities in the NFL is slim because you have guys coming in every year. Every year there's a draft. So you have to make sure you stay ready. But at the end of the day, I kind of like got like stopped being so devastated by it because I just felt like it just probably wasn't my time. Like this is not what God had planned for me. So I just had to really just control what I can control. Even though I didn't have no symptoms, I wanted to be around the team. But I know if I got around the team, maybe someone could actually catch it and really have symptoms. So at the end of the day, I understand like it was like I had to do what was best for the players, and they had to go on and play that game without me. I was upset though because I really wanted to show what I could do, but now I'm hoping that this weekend I can show what I can do.
I have no doubt you will, personally. I've told you a couple times off camera. I personally think you're poised for a big game. We've seen you have explosive plays in your background throughout college. So I'm expecting Bart Andrews and the team ultimately kind of lean on you quite heavily after Matt Colburn and Darnell Holland will not be available. So I wanted to talk about the 2021 season. You kind of bounced around a little bit on practice squads. I mean, I think you had stints with the Giants, the Dolphins, the Browns twice.
Hmm.
Talk to me about how this may have gotten you prepared to be in the situation you're in now, where you find yourself with 4 days to learn a playbook.
Yeah, it was like just bouncing around from team to team. It was just like you always had to be ready because you never knew when a phone call was coming. So that was one thing I always pride myself, like always stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's something that will always stay with me while I'm playing this game and even on and later on in life. So I just made sure I continue working out, making sure my skills always stay up to date, making sure I'm ready because like at the end of the day, it's like we all run the same plays. They just might call it something different. You run the same offense. An offense is an offense. A defense is a defense at the end of the day. So it was just like everything that I learned at Green Bay, I learned at the Giants, the Browns, and Miami. I just kind of combined it all and just still using, keep it to this day. Like even to this day, I still go over my notes that I learned at Green Bay. I learned at the Giants. I learned at the Browns because you never know, it can always be helpful later on down the road. So now that I'm here, it's the same thing. We run the same office. A lot of stuff that I learned at Green Bay is similar to what I'm learning here. So it wasn't that hard to like really get the playbook down. It's just like I just had to be very detailed.
Absolutely. Talk to me real briefly about Bart Andrews' style of coaching.
To me, he's like a pretty laid back coach. He's a coach that just really just wants his guys to go out and play, really, and just go out and have fun. He really, he to me, he really doesn't say that much, and it's probably because I've only been here for a week, but he just really just telling the guys just make sure you come ready this Sunday. Well, yeah, this Sunday, and just come out and be prepared.
Be
But
ready
other
for
than that,
some great football, some innovative football, some high scoring football. We want to have big plays. We want to put the ball vertically down the field. We want our fans to be excited to see us take the field.
Good move by Holland. He's got some room down the sideline. Finally forced out of bounds.
Part of your lives that nobody really sees, which is kind of cool that we just got to see that little glimpse in, is that you guys live your lives on the road a lot. I mean, you're in
mhm.
and out of hotels. I mean, you're away from your family, multiple different ways that takes you out of your element at times. So I really appreciate once again you joining us from your hotel room. 4 days after joining the team, it just goes to show you how cool of a guy you are and how awesome it was that you really actually, came through and joined me for this interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. Like I told you plenty of times, just from when you wrote me on Twitter, just the motivation and just the support that you were giving me. I actually love that because it's like I really haven't been receiving that lately because of the fact that I just been home, just been training, and I haven't been on the field. So I really appreciate that, and just you doing a whole background check, like the stats that you told me today. I didn't even know I had those type of stats because I'm not a guy who looks at the stats. I just really just love the game of football. Like once at the end of the day, like once the year's over, I might check stats and stuff like that. But that was a stat that I didn't know, so I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I meant every word I said. When you signed, something clicked, and I was like, I remember this guy from college. And then I realized you had been drafted by the Packers, and I was like, I knew his name from somewhere. And started looking into it, and I was like, okay, now it's coming together. And yeah, I mean, like honestly, I'm super encouraged by you in particular as a player coming in. Like I said, I mean, at 5'11", 215 pounds, you're nearly a spitting image of the guy we just lost in Matt Coburn this past weekend, which, in my personal opinion, is the exact type of back that Bart Andrews wants for his system. I mean, he wants somebody that can come in, run between the tackles, hit the edge, catch the ball out of the backfield, which, I mean, that's not a better, or there's no better way to describe you as a player than what I just said right there. I mean, so talk to me about your fit in the offense and how you viewed you being used here in Philadelphia.
I feel like I'm going to be a great fit, just like how you said. Mark Andrews needs a running back who can hit the hole, who can catch the ball out the backfield, and also just protect the quarterback. So I felt like I was a great fit here. a lot of the plays that we're running here, I ran in the NFL, so I'm very familiar with. I'm very comfortable. It wasn't like a hard adjust. It was just like I just really had to put the time in and just come ready to work. But other than that, like that kind of takes care of itself. Like if you really love the game of football, so it's just like it was just like an opportunity that I couldn't pass up on. So like I was just staying ready so I didn't have to get ready, and also like still like once we get off this interview I'll be back studying and stuff like that. So just got to make sure I'm prepared. The offense is a great offense. I feel like it's a very explosive offense as well. So I feel like we can get the ball rolling this Sunday.
I would agree. I'm going to leave you with one last question, and I'll let you get back to your studying. So you're heading into the championship game. Unless I missed something, this is your first professional championship game, correct?
Yes, my first professional championship game.
Well, that's a pretty cool way, like I said, to start your stint with the Stars, a one-game stint in a championship game. Are you nervous with so little time to prepare, or are you confident in your abilities? You're confident in your learning abilities in terms of your studying?
I would say I'm very confident. It's just more like anxious to get on the field because it's been so long. So it just feel like I just feel like I have like I said before, I feel like I got something to prove. But at the same time, I'm not trying to go out and just like do the impossible. I'm going out to help these guys win a championship because that's what they brought me in here for, to help win them a championship. So I feel like I'm a very great asset to this offense. And then the guys that are around me, they're great players as well. So I just feel like once we take this field, we can dominate the game. We just got to go out and play.
Absolutely. I personally, like I said, I'm a firm believer that I think the Stars have a great opportunity to win this game this weekend, and I honestly think that you're going to be a big part of the offense. I'm excited to see what will happen. I won't make any predictions with you on the camera. I don't want to make a fool out of myself. But with that being said, I really appreciate you coming on, man, and definitely stay in touch. I'd love to talk to you again after the championship game, or maybe down the line when you sign with another NFL team, because I'm sure after a big performance in a championship game, there's only going to be so many teams going to be calling you after this, I imagine.
Yeah, that's what I'm praying for. That's exactly what I'm praying for. But yeah, we can definitely stay in touch. You're a pretty cool guy.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I always try to approach everybody as if I was, they're on their level, not trying to approach them as like, hey, I'm asking you to do me a favor. But really, in reality, I am. And I really appreciate that you jumping on here with me today, because again, this is time out of your day. I mean, time out of your free time, the little bit that you guys get. So I really appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. And I thought of just one more question I'm going to get in there before you leave. And if you can't answer, it's perfectly okay. I was just curious. Is your contract that you signed with the Stars just for this game, or are you still a member of the team next season if you don't get an NFL deal?
It's just for this game, but if anything, say if I don't get a chance to play in the NFL, I can see myself returning to the Stars.
Cool. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. Well, with that being said, man, have a great afternoon, and you have a great opportunity ahead of you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'll be watching tomorrow and rooting for you, man. Hopefully you have a great game and you guys get that ring.
Sure.
Trying to get a stop here on 3rd and 10. Ryan Scott converts and more. DeAndre Overton across the field like this. Scott pressure, forced to get rid of it. One-handed and caught by Overton. Touchdown, Philadelphia Stars. Current protection and Scott's ability to manipulate the pocket with his feet and buy himself some time. Here again, the blitz from Pittsburgh, but it doesn't get home because Scott's able to step out of the tackle.
You can sound it, huh? Yeah. All right, Kurt.
Something tells me that wasn't. Oh, it was picked off. It was picked off. I was going to say something tells me that wasn't a casual reference. Had time with Minnesota, the Dolphins as well. And watch right here. Love just stares down that double slant to the left side. Scott flushed out of the pocket. Underneath. Caught. Good enough for the first down. Runs it. Running room. Brought down from behind, preventing the touchdown. They call it a first.